I have 9 o'clock on the nose. Do we want to start with a roll call to see who's here?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Good morning. Roll call, President Broussard.
Here.
Thank you. Vice President Covello.
Here.
Thank you. District 2 is vacant. Commissioner Boyle.
I am present, although I'm not appearing on the screen. I don't know why yet.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Schiffer.
I'm just here,
Thank
barely.
you, sir. Commissioner Rithaler. Commissioner Rithaler, have you joined us yet?
I do not see him yet.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Cura.
Here.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Francisco.
Here.
Thank you. And Commissioner Wildcat. Commissioner Wildcat, are you on the call?
I do not see her either.
We do have a quorum. President Broussard. We also have joining us today. We have is Ogden Driscoll. Senator Driscoll, are you on the call?
I do not see him either.
Okay. We have Representative Newsom on the call. Thank you for joining us today. And we have Governor's Liaison, Mr. Lebanow, on the call. Thank you for joining us.
All right, so we'll get started. Welcome, everybody. We will try to keep the meeting as brief as possible. I know there's a number of people who have appointments, so we're going to get our business done, and afterwards we'll chat if we need to. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. If that's okay, everybody, join me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
Of the United States of America,
to the republic
to the which stands one nation, indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all.
President Broussard, if I could do the welcome, and then we'll move to item number 2. Thank you. Welcome to the May 16th, 2023 special meeting of the Wyoming Gaming Commission. Our mission is the primary mission of the Gaming Commission is the protection of the wagering public and the health, safety, and welfare of the participants in all lawful gaming and parimutuel activity. Individuals who would like to address the commission today will be recognized and called upon by the president to speak. After the president has recognized you, please clearly state your name, the name of your organization you represent prior to addressing the commission. All comments, questions, responses must flow through the president by addressing the president each time you wish to speak. This procedure ensures an orderly flow of discussion during the commission meeting. All meetings of the governing body of the agency are public meetings open to the public, except as otherwise provided pursuant to Wyoming Statute 16.403A. The meeting is being held via Zoom and also available by watching our YouTube link. The commission may open an executive session, as I said, Wyoming Statute 16.405A, and inclusion on the agenda does not necessarily constitute a commission action. As I previously said, Commissioner or President Broussard, we do have a quorum. We've done the welcome, the Pledge of Allegiance. We are now to item 2, which would be adopt the agenda.
Thank you, Charlie. So at this moment, we'd entertain a motion to adopt today's agenda.
Mr. President, I so move.
Thank you, Dick.
Second, from
Thank
Schiffer.
you. Do we have any discussion on today's agenda? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor of the motion to adopt the agenda, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Same sign. Okay. Moving on, now that we have an agenda, we'll move on to item number 3, rules, and that's the conflict of interest final draft.
I'll take this on. Item number 3, rules, conflict of interest. This is final draft version 04.18.23. As you recall, commissioners, we submitted this to the Attorney General's office for their final review. This is the document that came back from their review. It is, as you may see, it is a slimmed down version. We have eliminated several things in the original piece that went to the Attorney General's office, and for that reason, we've simplified it, and we're still achieving the same or similar results. At this point, we would need, procedurally wise, we would need a motion to approve this, to go to the governor and start the final rule process.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to approve final draft 041823, Chapter 1, Conflict of Interest.
Thank you, Cactus. Any seconds?
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Thank you. We'll open it for discussion. Commissioners, do we have discussion on the conflict of interest form? All right. So we'll open it up to the public. Anybody else on the call?
Nick, do we have any hands raised?
We do not. I'm watching for hands.
So I'll just throw it out to Mike directly. Is there anything you'd like to add, Mike, before we vote? Are you awake?
Can you hear me?
We could just send Mike, try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to switch microphone settings. Mr. President, I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing no further comments, we'll call the vote. Do we want to hand vote or roll call vote?
I can do a roll call real quickly if you'd like me to, President.
Okay, let's do that, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. President Broussard,
Aye.
thank you. Vice President Covello,
Aye.
Commissioner Boyle,
Aye.
Commissioner Schiffer,
yes,
Commissioner Rithaller, have you joined the call? Okay, Commissioner Kura,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Francisco, excuse me.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Wildcat, have you joined? Commissioner Wildcat has not. Motion carries.
Thank you, Charlie. So we will now move to item number 4, skills-based amusement game software request. And I'm going to assume that's Nick. Do we take
Yes.
it from here?
That is correct.
Thank you, Nick.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the commission. Item number 4A is a request received from S&C Vending to add vanilla games to their offerings. The request was received on 3/16/2023. S&C Vending is a licensed skill-based amusement games vendor in Wyoming. They currently offer bank shot skill games. The request received from S&C was to add previously approved vanilla games to their offerings, therefore allowing them to offer both bank shot and vanilla games. The Wyoming Gaming Commission Administrative Rules, Chapter 2, Section 1 state that all vendors and operators shall not implement any changes or modifications to the practices, procedures, or representations upon which an approval was based without prior written approval of the commission. As S&C was approved to offer bank shot games and is now requesting to add vanilla games to their offerings as a licensed vendor, this request requires formal commission action. All required documentation was received and appears to be in good order. S&C Vending has affirmed that it will offer previously approved games and software manufactured by Vanilla Games. And I would stand for any questions on this. Seems a pretty simple request, actually.
All right, I'm unmuted now. So we'll entertain a motion to approve their request, and that's just item number 4A. Or are we doing A and B together?
Just 4A.
Okay,
Mr. President, I'd make that motion. This is Commissioner Bowl.
thank you, Commissioner Bowe. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, we'll open it for discussion. Anybody in the commission have a comment or a question? I'll open it up to the general public or anyone else for that matter. Comments or questions at the moment?
I do not see any hands.
Okay, hearing none, we will call the vote. All in favor of accepting the request for skills-based amusement game software updates, state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Say aye. No. Okay, thank you. That one passes. Nick, we'll go to B now.
President Broussard, I have a call in online. I think it's Commissioner Rithaler. I'm going to verify that that's him real quick.
Sure, Nick, take a minute. We'll all just stand by.
Commissioner Rithaler, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
thanks, sir.
I apologize. I voted before. I didn't realize I was muted. Told me I had to hit *6. Apologize. So, thank you.
Nick,
right.
if I could jump in prior to considering this item, we did have Commissioner Cavello bring up a potential conflict of interest in this situation. The vendor is, well, he banks with the bank that Mr. Cavello, Vice President Cavello works for, but does not have any interaction with that account or with that individual. So considering that, we have left that up to Vice President Cavello, whether he wanted to recuse himself on this, but the office does not feel like he has a direct interest in this and a conflict.
So just let me make sure I'm following you, Charlie. So item number 4B,
Correct.
TSGS LLC banks with Cabela's, with the Cactus's Bank, and that's the extent of it.
Yes.
Okay. Been publicly noted. So at this point, if there's nothing else, Nick, do you want to go through the application?
Certainly, President Broussard. So item number 4B is a request or an application received from Mr. Toby Gardner, the owner of TSGS LLC. The application for licensure is to become a skill-based amusement games vendor in the state of Wyoming. TSGS LLC plans to supply previously approved vanilla hardware and software. All required information was submitted and appears compliant with Wyoming state statute and rules. At the time of this request, is being presented to the commission, the completed background check has not been received, but based on the 60-day approval window, the commission staff is asking for a conditional approval, barring that the background comes back clear. Along with the application, we received the certification letters from the laboratory, their internal controls plan, their reserve bond account plan, and their internal controls plan. I think I might have said that one twice. Again, they're planning to offer previously approved vanilla games, hardware and software. And I would stand for any questions on this one.
So Nick, let me just, did I hear you say that the background checks are outstanding, or did you say they came back?
It is. So the fingerprints have been submitted to DCI and the FBI. They're processing those. The first set of prints that we got were rejected because they weren't clear enough. So we had to resubmit fingerprints. So we're just waiting for that to come back. So again, we're asking for a conditional approval that this vendor's license would be approved, barring no statutory disqualifiers in the criminal history once we get that back.
Okay. So we'll entertain that motion. So we are going to vote
Your Honor,
on
that's-
approving item B contingent on the return of their background checks and any other criminal investigation work that's outstanding. Is that what we're looking for?
It would just be the return of a clear criminal history check. Yep.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor, this is Commissioner Bowl. I would make a motion for conditional approval as outlined by the staff.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dick. Okay, we'll open it up for discussion. Do we have any discussion on this topic?
As President Broussard, I will recuse myself from this discussion and vote.
Thank you, Vice President.
President Broussard, this is,
Yeah, is that Commissioner Ritholder? Yeah, go ahead.
yes. Is it hinged upon the background check coming in, or are we not, will that make a difference?
Yeah, we're approving it contingent on a positive criminal history background check. Is that right, Nick?
Thank you.
Getting the words right.
That would be correct.
So if we vote now,
It would actually be a negative background check, but
okay.
yes.
So if it comes back, we don't have to vote on it again. So we're voting on it contingent on that. And then if all goes well, they'll be approved.
Thank you, President Broussard. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any other comments? Hearing none, we will call the vote. And we know Cactus is not going to vote, but we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say aye. Okay. That passes, and we will now move to item 5.
Did
Online
we have
sports
any public comment, Nick? Anybody with their hands up?
Director Moore, President Broussard, there was no hands raised, no.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick. Moving on, item number 5, online sports wagering operator and vendors. Is that Charlie or Nick?
That would be Mike. So
Mike, okay.
Thank you, President Broussard, Commissioners. On April 10th, 2023, WSI US LLC, a Wyoming limited liability company, doing business as WinBet, formally submitted its online sports wagering operator permit application to the Commission. WinBet is currently licensed to offer sports wagering in 13 additional jurisdictions within the United States. Commission staff received completed permit application, all the required additional information, did a background check on key personnel, reviewed all of the submissions, did not find anything negative on WinBet. We also received a comprehensive list of all their third-party vendors, which are currently licensed to operate as vendors in the state of Wyoming. The Wyoming Gaming Commission staff would recommend full approval of WSI US LLC doing business as WinBet to conduct online sports wagering effective upon approval. I'd stand for any questions.
Thank you. At this moment, we will entertain a motion to approve the WinBet's application.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the WSI LLC doing business as WinBet and associate vendors application to conduct online sports wagering.
Thank you, Commissioner Schiffer. Do we have a second?
Mr. President, I second.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll open it up for questions. Does anyone have questions or comments from the commission to Mike or anyone else? Hearing none. Oh, go ahead,
Mr.
Commissioner
President,
Schiffer. Yep, go ahead, Mr.
I'm
Commissioner
trying to
Schiffer.
go back in my memory, but there was something about we wanted these companies to have in-state bank accounts. And I'm looking to see if that's noted anywhere, and maybe Mike can clarify that for us.
Mr. President Broussard, Commissioner Schiffer, I have a huge box full of paperwork from WinBet, and it would probably take me a really long time to go through it and find specific information. What I can answer for you is all the boxes were checked as far as what we require for an applicant. WinBet met all of those requirements.
Okay. Charlie, is my memory correct on this, or was that one of the requirements? Do you have a-
Yes, and yes, thank you, Commissioner Schiffer. That was one of the requirements. And what we have done is, this is a very similar situation that we have with all of the other sports wagerings, where they're offering their bank accounts out of state, with the exception. So this is virtually mirrors our approvals that we've had for the previous 4 or 5, I believe.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, yes, just to refresh my mind, how many vendors do we have now in skills? In online wagering, sports wagering?
President Broussard, we have 6 that are currently permitted. We have 4 that are currently operating.
Again, and this will make the 7th?
This would make the 7th permit.
All right. Any further questions from the commission or the gallery? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approving WSI US LLC doing business as WinBet and associate vendors, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say aye. Okay, that passes. Thank you, Mike. We're moving on to item number 6, unless we're moving good. No one needs a break yet? Am I going too fast?
Oh, I think
Okay.
you're doing great.
All right, moving on to item number 6. Wyoming Downs LLC.
President Broussard, item number 6A is a request received from Wyoming Downs to offer 16 new game themes and their associated math models produced by Aristocrat on the Ainsworth backend system. In your packet, you'll see a breakdown of each and every game theme and takeout rates. On the March 10th, 2023, the commission received a request from Wyoming Downs seeking approval to deploy 16 new Aristocrat game themes and their associated 13 math models and hardware utilizing the previously approved Ainsworth backend system. The themes are Birds of Prey, Wild Leprechauns, Boy Zoo Zhao Fu Red Festival, Boy Zoo Zhao Fu Blue Festival, Food Day Lane Lane Boost Peacock, Food Day Lane Lane Tiger, Food Day Lane Lane Dragon, Food Day Lane Lane Panda, Gold Stacks 88 Turtle Kingdom, Gold Stacks 88 Royal Monkey, Mighty Cash Dragon Flies, Mighty Cash Tiger Roars, Crazy Cash Double Up Prosperous Moon, Whales of Cash Rising Jackpots, Fantastic Jackpots Loaded, Fantastic Jackpots Treasure. All themes operate on commission rates between 4 and 11%. From 3/20/2023 through 3/24/2023, I reviewed the 704-page submission, including screenshots, video of all gameplay, all the associated lab reports, the theme and math model spec sheets. An independent laboratory has found that the Aristocrat HHR software is compliant with the requirements set forth in the Wyoming Gaming Commission rules and Wyoming statutes for parimutuel wagering. The laboratory also determined that the results of historical thoroughbred races compared against the players' selections are the only determining factor in the outcome of the player's wager. The outcome of the game is entirely determined by the player's picks evaluated against the results of the historical horse race. This request is similar to others approved for use in Wyoming and appears in compliance when compared to the 18-point compliance checklist and review of the lab reports. If approved, Aristocrat will need to complete all vendor licensing requirements prior to shipments of hardware or software. And I would stand for any questions on this one.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Anyone want Nick to read that again? Okay. Guess we'll entertain a motion at this time to approve Wyoming Downs request A, Aristocrat Software HHR.
Mr. President, I would move to approve Wyoming Downs application to employ Aristocrat software, subject to that vendor completing all licensing requirements.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All
I'll
right.
second.
I heard 3 or 4 seconds, so we'll move on to comments. Vice President Cactus, did you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay. Nick, do you see any hands, Nick?
No, sir.
Okay. Any comments at all regarding item 6A? We don't see any, then we'll call the vote. All in favor of approving Wyoming Downs request to deploy Aristocrat Software HHR, state that by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay. A has passed, and we will move on to B, which is Wyoming Downs request for additional terminals.
President Broussard, item 6B is a request received from Wyoming Down for the addition of terminals at 3 existing locations. The locations is the Gateway Plaza in Laramie, the Cheyenne Plaza, and the Evanston location. The addition of terminals at the Cheyenne Plaza are underneath their already approved terminal account list, so that doesn't require any formal commission action. On 4/6/23, the commission received the request and it was reviewed. I noted that the Laramie location has been approved for 33 terminals, of which 32 are currently in use. The addition of 39 terminals would increase the amount of approved terminals by 38, bringing the total number of approved terminals at that location to 71. Upon review of the floor plan, I did not see any areas of concern. The Evanston location was approved for 52 terminals originally. This request is asking for the addition of 7 terminals, bringing the total terminal count to that location as to 59 terminals. Again, I reviewed the floor plan of that one and I did not note any areas of concern. In your packets, you'll see the floor plan layouts. The ones that are highlighted in red is the location of the new terminals. And I'd stand for any questions on these as well.
Okay.
Nick, this is Dan Schiffer. It looks like they're putting in a lot more than 7 in Evanston. Am I missing something here?
Let me.
It says 31 on the schematic. I thought you just said 7 new terminals.
Let me pull that real quick and look somewhere else. So Mr. Schiffer, the reason for that is currently they are approved for 52. They want to take it to 59. The reason that floor plan looks so much different is because the way that they're laying out those terminals, They are building, you'll see at the top part of it, the red ones around the bar area, those are all bar top ones. So they're removing additional ones that were approved and they're putting those new ones in instead. So instead of being freestanding ones, they're putting those in the bar, but it's still within that count.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm back. Okey doke. Any other questions? Oh, we don't have a motion yet, I don't think. So commissioners, do we want to approve individually or do we have someone see a problem? I know the item 6, Bravo Charlie needs no action. So we need a vote on Alpha and Bravo.
President Broussard, that could be taken as one action, if that's what you would prefer, or it could be split up. That's up to you.
If we have questions or issues on one of them, we can approve the other one and come back to it, or we can do it. To get to the comment portion, we need a motion. And
I think
Your
so.
Honor, this is,
Pardon me. Go ahead.
it's Commissioner Bull. I would move that we approve both A and B simultaneously.
okay. Do we have a motion that states that?
So
To
moved.
approve? Okay. We have a second.
President, second Cavello.
Thank you. All right, so now we'll open up the floor to questions or comments. Commissioners, do we have questions regarding the request? No one? Anyone in the gallery? Nick?
No, sir.
Okay. No comment from Wyoming Downs or anyone else? If that's the case, then we'll move forward. All in favor of approving the Wyoming Downs request for additional machines, additional terminals at Wyoming Downs Laramie and Wyoming Downs Evanston, please state that by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, sounds like moving on. Item number 7, Wyoming Horse Racing LLC.
President Broussard, item number 7A is a request received from Wyoming Horse Racing to offer 6 new Light and Wonder game themes and their associated math models and hardware utilizing the previously approved Ainsworth backend system. The themes are Drop and Lock Deep Sea Magic, Drop and Lock Sweet Tweet, Ultimate Fire Link by the Bay, Ultimate Fire Link China Street, Ultimate Fire Link Glacier Gold, Ultimate Fire Link Olvera Street. All themes operate on a commission rate between 8 and 15%. From 12/21/2022 through 3/5/2023, I reviewed the 628-page submission, including screenshots, videos of gameplay, the lab reports, all theme and math model spec sheets. Additional information was requested in regards to the handicapping functionality on these, and it was provided and reviewed as well. An independent laboratory has found that the Light and Wonder HHR software is compliant with the requirements set forth in Wyoming Gaming Commission rules and Wyoming statute for parimutuel wagering. The laboratory also confirmed that the results of historical thoroughbred races compared against a player's selections are the only determining factor in the outcome of the player's wager. The outcome of the game is entirely determined by the player's picks evaluated against the results of the historical horse race. This request is similar to others approved for Wyoming and appears in compliance when compared to the 18-point compliance checklist and the review of the lab reports. Light and Wonder is currently licensed as a vendor in Wyoming and is in good standing. And I would stand for any questions on this one.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, do we have a motion to approve Wyoming Horse Racing's request?
Mr. President, I so move that we approve the Light and Wonder software for 6 new game themes.
Thank you, Commissioner Kura. We have a second.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Schiffer. Okay, we'll open it up for comments and questions at the time. Do we have any amongst the commissioners? Hearing none. I don't see hands. Nick, do you see hands? Anyone else? Anyone from Wyoming Horse Racing?
I do not.
Okay, that makes it simple. So all in favor of approving the request to employ the Light and Wonder software, state that by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Anyone opposed, say nay. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. All right, we'll move on to item 8, 307 Horse Racing and their request alpha, which is the AGS software HHR.
President Broussard, item number 8A is a request received from 307 Horse Racing, seeking to deploy 2 new AGS game themes and their associated math models utilizing the existing approved Exacta backend system. The existums are, I'm going to say just Crossing Pig and Crossing Tiger, because I will mess up the first part of those horribly. Both themes operate on 3 versions of the math model PT3177-FT, with takeout rates ranging from 8 to 12%. On 4/26/23, I reviewed all submitted paperwork, including screenshots, videos of gameplay, the lab reports, theme and math model spec sheets. An independent laboratory has found that the AGS HHR software is compliant with the requirements set forth in the Wyoming Gaming Commission rules and Wyoming statutes for parimutuel wagering. The laboratory also determined that the results of a historical thoroughbred race compared against the players' selections are the only determining factor in the outcome of the player's wager. AGS is currently licensed in good standing as a vendor in Wyoming, and I would stand for any questions on these 2 game themes.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Do we have a motion to approve the AGS software for 307 Horse Racing?
President Broussard, this is Commissioner Rittoller. I'll move, so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Ritholler. Do we have a second?
President Broussard, I would second. Commissioner Covello.
Thank you, Commissioner Cavell. Okay, open for comments. Again, anyone have a question or concern? Speak your piece. No one, no hands, right, Nick?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing no comment, we will move forward with the vote. All in favor of approving 307 Horse Racing's request for AGS software, please state that by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay.
Aye.
We had a late one. All right. Anyone opposed, please say nay. All right. Thank you. I'm going to guess, Nick, you are on again for item 8B.
Correct. President Broussard, item number 8B is a request received from 307 Horse Racing. This request was received on February 10th of 2023. I'd like to publicly apologize because I accidentally let this one kind of fall through the cracks because it was included with another submission and I overlooked this one. This request was for the addition of HHR terminals at 307's Rollins location and their Sheridan location. On 5/1/23, I reviewed the request and the submission. 307 Horse Racing was originally approved to offer 30 terminals at the Rollins location. This request is to add 59 terminals to that location, bringing the total number to 89 terminals. 307 Horse Racing submitted new floor plan layouts that showed the location of the new terminals, and that is included in your packet. Upon the review of the plans, I did not note any areas of concern. Likewise, 307 was originally approved to offer 55 terminals at the Sheridan location, and this request is to add an additional 31 terminals to that location, bringing the total number to 86 terminals in Sheridan. 307 Horse Racing also submitted a new floor plan layout that shows the locations of the new terminals. That's included in your packet. Upon review, I did not note any areas of concern with that one as well. The Rollins location, just so you understand, there's some construction that has to take place in that one. That's why the growth is so high. But I would stand for any questions on that as well.
All right. Thank you, Nick. We'll forgive you for missing it.
Mr. President,
Yep, go ahead, Nick.
Nick, the Commissioner Kerr, have you had anybody go up and inspect these locations in terms of what they have set up so far? I know they're in the process of finishing everything up, but has anybody been there to inspect the situations?
President Broussard, Commissioner Kura. So we've had inspectors in these locations. Agents have been there doing just routine checks.
Okay.
None of this has been built since it's not been approved yet. But it would be, if approved, once they go live, it would be inspected as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Broussard, I have Mr. Ridgway. I'm going to move him over as well. He has his hand up.
Thank you, Nick. Mr. Ridgway, you have the floor. Kyle, you there?
Can you all hear me now?
Can.
Yeah.
It took a minute to move me over. I apologize. Good morning, commissioners. I made the mistake of actually walking over to the state building this morning, thinking I was going to see everybody in person, and then walk back over to my office. So anyway, Nick's right. What I wanted to specifically talk about was related to the Rollins project. We've got a good relationship with the Downtown Development Authority down there. They're actually one of the reasons that we ended up in Rollins in the first place. So the way that building's set up is it was a small bar and restaurant kind of in the front. And then they've got two buildings that share party walls that go all the way back for, several thousand square feet. And then it's just open air all the way back to the parking lot in the back. So what we're going to have to do is basically enclose that space to expand the gaming. And that's something that, we talked about when we came to Rollins initially, was that if the economics bore out, we were committed to spend more money to make that investment in downtown Rollins to generate that tax revenue and to continue to grow it. And so we've gotten a really positive reception there. I don't know whether we actually fully get to 89, but it gives us room to continue to grow and to see what that market looks like. But I know the DDA there is very excited about the construction project. They came down and celebrated with us for our 1-year anniversary last week. So I just wanted to share that with you all, that we've been in pretty tight communication with the DDA. They've got a lot of covenants because they got some state money to rehab a lot of those buildings down there. So they've been working with us very closely related to what that construction looks like. The Sheridan project's not nearly as comprehensive. We're just going to pull, basically, we had put in some walls to have the liquor store there. And all we're doing is internal construction inside the building to remove those walls and kind of slim down the liquor store. What it really does is allow us to let the customers have some more space in that location, because those games are a little bit tighter in that location than we normally like. So anyway, happy to answer any questions and appreciate everybody's working with us to get these on the agenda today.
Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. Anybody, any other questions for Kyle? Any questions for the commission or from the commission? Nope. Okay, at this moment, we'll entertain a motion to approve the request for both locations.
Mr. President, yeah. This is Schiffer. I'd move to approve the application of 307 to add more terminals to the Rollins and Sheridan locations.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Cactus. Okay, so now we'll open it up for official discussion. Again, any comments or questions from the commission or to the commission at this time? Any questions to 307? Any questions at all? Going, gone. All right, we will now call the vote. All in favor of approving the request from 307 to add additional terminals in Sheridan and Rollins, please state that by saying aye.
Nick,
Aye.
did we have any public input, Nick? Any hands raised?
President Broussard, Director Moore, there was no hands raised, no.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
No problem. Anyone opposed to the motion? Say nay. No. All right. Great work, Nick. Thank you, and Mike. All right, we'll move on to item number 9. I'm guessing Charlie will take over from here.
Yes, thank you, President Broussard. Item number 9 is a disciplinary matter for Jerry Brinkerhoff, trainer license 22-2203. Excuse me, 221103, I believe is correct. Yes, that was a typo on the one packet. At this point, what I will do, we have received a settlement from Mr. Brinkerhoff. We've received a signed document. I will turn this over to Senior Assistant Attorney General Eric Easton, who is on the call to explain.
Mr. Easton.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. Yeah, yes, we have in front of you a proposed settlement agreement in the Jerry Brinkerhoff disciplinary matter. I have the docket as 22-0083. So we'll have to double check and make sure which is correct. This case came about in Wyoming Downs on June 25th, 2022, when Mr. Brinkerhoff's horse, Outlaw Girl Josie, came in first, went through the standard blood urine samples. Those samples revealed or were positive for, and I know I'm going to mess these names up, I apologize, methamphetamine and pentermine. Those have no medicinal value or controlled substances. No reason to explain why they were found in the horse. Their second sample was taken and it also tested positive. The Board of Stewards held a hearing on December 9th, 2022, suspended Mr. Brinkerhoff for 30 days and issued a $1,000 fine. Also prohibited him from entering the horse in other jurisdictions. We have brought this forward to the commission to ask for an enhancement of those penalties. And this is through an associate of mine, Stephanie Sneesby, who actually handled this case. So she contacted Mr. Brinkerhoff as required by your rules and regulations. He responded with an attorney. And we've got a proposed settlement agreement for the commission at this time. This calls for a 1-year suspension followed by a 4-year probation. So if any other violations occur during that 4-year period, then a full suspension would go into effect for the full 5-year period, and a $4,000 fine. I'd like to compare this to a couple of cases we had in 2021. Mr. Gonzalez had 2 cases kind of right in a row where we had prohibited substances were found in a horse. There were two separate incidents, and there was each of those, it was a 6-month suspension and then a $1,000 fine followed by a $2,000 fine. So a total of a year suspension and a $3,000 fine. What we're proposing today is roughly equivalent to that. It's a 1-year suspension followed by the probation and a $4,000 fine. So if you're happy with the settlement agreement, we'd ask you to approve that at this time. This would take effect on June 1st, 2023. If you don't feel that this is appropriate, you can just deny the request for a settlement agreement, and we'll go ahead and set it for a full hearing before the commission at some point in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie, you have anything to add to that?
No, well, just to follow up and say that this is consistent with other jurisdictions, and feels like this is a reasonable settlement for this situation.
Okay.
President Broussard.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think this enhancement is certainly justified with the type of drug involved and the fact that, excuse me, that the permittee has admitted the foul and basically agreed to this enhancement. I think it's justified and reasonable according to what else has been done. So I would move that we accept this.
Settlement agreement.
Yes,
Okay, we have a
President
motion to
Basar-
accept the settlement agreement. Do we have a second?
President Basar, this is Commissioner Rittholler, I would second that.
Your Honor, I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a second and a third. And we will, at this point, we'll officially open it up for comments from the commission first.
Your Honor, this is Commissioner Bowl.
Go ahead, Commissioner Bowe.
Attorney Easton has, I was going to say the defendant, but has the trainer officially executed the settlement document?
Mr. Chairman, he did. We finally got a copy this morning, and I apologize for that. I often find in these kind of cases that people delay until the very last minute. In this case, the very last morning before the hearing to get the settlement agreement to us. So he has executed that, and we can get it signed on our side and get that in place before June 1st.
Has his attorney indicated that the document is acceptable as well?
He has, the attorney had forwarded the completed settlement to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the commission to Mr. Easton? Okay. Hearing none. Nick, do we have any hands in the gallery?
President Broussard, I do not see any hands.
Oh, Your Honor, I have one more question.
You have the floor, Commissioner Bowe.
Mr. Briggs, our Attorney Eastman, did he know that this was going to be considered by the commission today?
I believe that he did. Like I said, we were in contact with the attorney last week and this week trying to get that settlement agreement to you for the meeting today. The attorney indicated that he had signed it last week and was just getting the signed copy to him so he could send us a scanned copy of that. So he was aware that it was going to take effect today.
So he could have appeared today. He didn't do that. He's not on the phone or anything.
That is, I believe
Like that.
that's
Is that correct?
It's unusual that in a settlement agreement situation that the defendants would appear usually, in my experience. So I'm not surprised at that.
I just thought he might want to talk about some mitigating factors, but be that as it may, that's the end of my questions, Mr. President.
Thank you for the questions.
President Broussard, if I could follow up on that, we did
Yes, sir.
notice Mr. Brinkerhoff, and we received noticed him via certified mail and have received the receipt back that he did receive that.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, if I may ask a question, if this settlement is approved, does this impose a ban on Mr. Brinkerhoff racing in other jurisdictions as well as Wyoming?
Having talked with Mr. Laramundie about that, I believe it does. And those states that are compact states with the state of Wyoming. For those states that are not, it may or may not. I don't know how that would apply.
Thank you.
Commissioner Schiffer, we circulate this to the Association of Racing Commissioners International, the database. We also have that on our database. And typically what you find is if you are ruled off in one state, you are also ruled off in other. Now, a caveat to that would be those are pari-mutuel states that we're talking about. So, you know, there's the potential that a non-pari-mutuel state that is not reciprocating with the state of Wyoming may allow him to participate. But again, typically for the suspension period, he would be denied access to the grounds and racing in most every state in North America, all 39 jurisdictions.
Thank you.
So the inverse is true, Charlie. So if he had this ruling in another state, we would then deny him a license here. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
All right, any other questions to the commission? From the commission to anyone? Any hands, Nick? I don't
President Broussard, that is a negative.
Okay. Well, I guess at this point, we will call the vote to accept, approve the settlement request. All in favor of approving the settlement request, state aye.
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 Anyone opposed, please state nay. Okay, it's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. So we're going to move. I don't think we need an executive session. Anyone have a comment on that before we move past it? All right, then we will move to item number 11, future meeting dates, which we do have.
President
you-
Broussard, we do have the July 19th and September 28th, and then November 1st and 2nd is a tentative for 2 days for meetings the remainder of the year. We will also be required to, due to the fact that we have 60-day and 90 days to approve skill-based amusement game submissions and online sports wagering submissions, we will potentially have Zoom meetings in between there to logistically kind of navigate some of those requirements. But the July 19th meeting would be held here in Casper, Wyoming, at the state office building. The September 28th meeting is again booked at the state office building. And then the November 1st and 2nd is at the state building as well. And the November 1st and 2nd meeting would be our annual fall meeting.
So do we need to approve these dates, or do we need an action? I guess is there action required, Charlie, for this?
No, there's not necessarily any action
Okay.
required here, President.
These dates work for me. If anybody has comments or questions about the dates, say it now.
Mr. President, the November meeting is very close to the Breeders' Cup World Championship in Los Angeles, which I will be attending, so I'm not sure that I can be present on those dates.
Okay. You have to bring your laptop and Zoom it.
I'm gonna be trying to pick winners. more
Okay.
than anything, okay? Oh, even though I can't vote, I mean, bet.
All right. Sounds good. We trust you. Okay, well, do we want to have any comments or any other questions? We've moved pretty quickly. I hope we didn't forget anybody or miss anything. So before we adjourn, I'll just open. Anybody have something they'd like to add?
President Broussard, since we don't have anything specific on the agenda, we would need to stay kind of in the vein of, the meeting dates coming
Okay.
up. But just as a side note, we do have live racing starting this week. So the summer is here, it's upon us. We'll be racing from May 20th up through October 1st. We have quite a few skill-based amusement game applications that Nick is working through. And we've got a busy summer ahead of us. New locations and different things happening. So I think and also too, we can relook at that November 1st and 2nd date. Once we get into November, it's a little tough kind of trying to figure things out. So we may not be able to move that, but I can look at that a little bit and see if we can maybe tweak that to accommodate Commissioner Schiffer as well. So.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you. My only comment is that I guess on behalf of the vendors who like us to request and approve things quickly, I think I want to thank Nick and Mike and the guys and Charlie for making sure this keeps on track. So thank you, guys. If there's no other comments, then I'll move to adjourn the meeting. Or I'll just adjourn it. How about that?
Yeah, that's.
All right.
Just adjourn it.
All right, meeting's adjourned.
See you guys.
Take care.
Thank you.